Good afternoon, everyone. Just a little note today. We're going to speak about, is Spirit still communicating with me? That's going to be my topic today, about Spirit and how Spirit communicates. And give you some lessons that I've learned over my life about how Spirit communicates. And maybe listening to this, it'll help you, it'll encourage you to find your path, to find your journey when you do mediumship or connection to mediumship. I always explain to students and people that I teach and instruct, never tell your guides, consciously or subconsciously in your life, that you can't do something, that you can't accomplish it. You can't, especially when you're working with mediumship or connecting to your higher self. Like you're telling yourself you can't get names, you can't get names, you can't get this. This isn't part of the vibration, you can't do this. Because once you do that, your guides, your protectors, your guides, your higher self listens to you. And you don't get that. You don't propel that in motion. So really what you want to do, is you want to propel yourself, to tell your guides that you truly, absolutely can get that. You can get names, you can get places, you can get information, you can understand what Spirit's trying to tell you. And when we do that in our lives, when we connect to that vibration, we come to a conclusion in our vibration that everything's supposed to work, everything's supposed to be put in motion. Think of your spiritual work as heading down a hallway. And through that hallway, down as far as you can see, are different doorways. Some of the doors are open. The ones that we believe that we can walk through will be open. The ones that we believe that we can't do, or we can't accomplish, or we can't get there, those will be locked, no matter how hard we try to push on them, until we change our thought, our vibration of how we see it. So we have to ask ourselves, first of all, are we connecting to Spirit? Now, a lot of when I teach mediumship, I explain to people, you're going to start your mediumship reading off mediumistically and end it psychically, or psychically and end it mediumistically. This psychic vibration has to appear within the reading at some point. That's why some mediums lose the mark, because you have to read sometimes a little bit psychically to actually get into where you need to be, or you just start off with Spirit and keep with Spirit till towards the end of the reading. And psychically vibration or psychic vibration will come into that, because it plays a part, because the individual will bring their energy into the space that you're in, and you will feel that energy, you will sense that energy, you will feel that vibration. So when you're looking at this or propelling it in motion or doing this, make sure that you're comfortable with what you're looking at. If someone's trying to teach you something and you're going, oh, I don't like that, then that's not your doorway. No matter how hard you want to push the door, no matter how hard you want to get there and do that, if it doesn't quite fit you, it doesn't fit the vibration you're working with, because it doesn't work with your vibration, it doesn't work with your energy field. So allow that to move along and move on down to the next door. Don't get your mediumship's work stuck somewhere. When Spirit communicates with you, they bring a lot of stuff. When I do readings, I get pictures, I get people, I get all kinds of things appearing in the vibration. So through all that that's going on ahead of me, I have to make sense of it. I have to make complete sense of what's going on. Once I do, then I have this knowing, and that's what I call the psychic alphabet. Once you understand what things mean to you, how they propel towards you, you have a good connection of truly understanding what's going on in spirit world. You'd have an understanding, because if they bring you all this stuff, I tease people when I do my class. I have them mention three things. And they give me three things. Now, out of those three things, subconsciously or consciously, you wanted me to know those three things. But out of those three things, I give you a reading. I give you a connection to the spirit world from those three things. But I have to kind of know pretty much what those three things mean. What do they mean? What do they propel in motion? And you have to ask yourself, what does it mean to you? Not what it means to somebody that wrote a book and told you what their symbols are. It's what it means to you. When spirit is speaking to you, what does it mean to you? What does it connect to you? Not because a red fire engine means something to me. What does it mean to you? What does it connect to your vibration? There's the training you have to teach yourself. And some people that do mediumship work, spirit speaks to them, and they get to a certain place on their path, and they stop. They stop their forward motion, they stop their forward growth, they stop their movement, and they stop in that realm. They don't move any further. And sometimes they lose a little ground because they don't go anywhere. They just stay in that room because that is where they feel comfortable. Mediumship is a progression. Speaking to spirit is a progression. It is not because we go to speak to a couple of spirits on the spirit side of life and we stay in that one spot, that one vibration within our lives, and then decide that that's the space we're going to be. It is a progression. Just like spiritualism, the religion that I'm in, it doesn't stay like it was in the late 1800s. It can't. There's a progression with the relation of mediumship. There's a progression with the belief systems. There's a progression with it. And we move to the next door. We move to the next hallway. We move to the next situations within our lives. That's what we do. So when you're doing mediumship, or you're connecting to mediumship within your vibration, what door are you walking through? Because when you enter this, as I said, when I see mediumship, I see spirit speaking to me. There's like a hallway, and there's many doors down that hallway. And through my mediumship of speaking to spirit, I go to knock on all these doors. I was taught that by my grandmother many years ago. She said, knock and the door will be open. Ask and you will receive. I've always believed that, because every door will be open to me that I want, that works for me, that fits the vibration for me when I'm speaking to spirit. Sometimes we don't speak to spirit. We just sit in one space and go, I can't do that. I can't get names. Oh, I don't meditate well. Oh, I can't meditate. Oh, I can't do. Really? Right now, when you say that to your guides, that is like a foghorn going off in the spirit world. Oh, they can't do that, so we won't make them do that. And they won't progress you to that doorway or that vibration to achieve that within your auric field. Sure, you might not be able to speak to guides, people, and situations right away. Maybe that's not going to happen. But it doesn't mean that through work, meditating, getting quiet, even if you don't see something, just making the effort to sit, believing that there is something going to show up, something's going to happen, something's going to show up. That belief system that something will show up will propel the energy from the spirit world to you. And then understand that that's how spirit works. They speak to you because you want them to speak to you. It's not because they just show up, flutter through, say I love you, and wander off. They appear because they're supposed to appear at that moment, that vibration within your life. So you have to ask yourself, what do I really want from my guides? And get a working knowledge, your guides. Think as if you're going to work, and you sit down at your desk, and you have no idea what's on the desk, and you make no effort to understand what's on the desk. You're not going to get much work done that day if you have no idea why you're there, what's on the desk, or what you need to do. So you have to ask somebody, what is my job today? What do I have to do today? What would you like me to do? And people will bring things, propel things, and show you what you need to do. So that's the same thing with mediumship. They just don't sit there and go, okay, we're going to teach them everything. They allow you to pick the journey. the journey. Pick the journey with them. And they allow you to progress as fast as slow as you need to go on the spirit world. So, if you get to different doorways, and I explain to people, there's a different door. Even though if you think, look, I've gone as far as I can. I can't go any further. This is as far as I can go right now. Then you're going to get stuck there. But remember, as far as you've gone in your mediumship, as far as you've gone in your meditation, your connection to your higher self, there's always another door. There's always another vibration, another spirit, another communication from spirit. There's always something else appearing. Always. It's only when we stop, we don't see the next door. We're not allowed to go outside the room. We stop within the room. We never get back in the hallway to see that there is another door up the road, up the way from us. So, is spirit speaking to you? But how do they speak? It's like, do you see them? Do you hear them? Do you feel them? It's the vibration, the sense, the clairsentient, clairvoyance, clairaudience. Those are the major ones that appear in people's lives. How do they talk to you? How do they try to get their information across to you? Maybe you're just clear seeing. Maybe you just see things and you understand them from the spirit world. Maybe spirit speaks to you and you think that's a voice in your head, but it's really spirit speaking to you. What are your guides working with you in that way? That's what you're trying to learn as you walk into the spirit world. How do they communicate? Are they still speaking to you? The only time they stop speaking to us is that we've gone in a distance in our lives and we don't look for the other doorways. And we sit with the same old voice. I adhere to like an old record player playing in the corner of the room. We never change the record. We just play the same record over and over and over again until we eventually go over and change the record. We change the vibration. And that's by adding things to your work, your ensemble in your life. That's why when I teach mediumship, I don't just teach you talking to people that are in the spirit world. I teach you a lot of psychic vibrations too. I teach you different ways to communicate with spirit. So some of these ways that I teach you will encourage you to say, oh, that works for me, that fits me. Not everything's going to fit, but enough pieces of things that I teach you will fit. And you work in that direction, what works and what fits the vibration for you. But when spirit is speaking to you, when they are, is the repetition, and I've said that so many times when I teach class, is the repetition of spirit speaking. And you have to make that appointment with spirit. You have to sit. You have to make that appointment. You have to subconsciously or consciously tell them, I really would like to do this. I really would like to have this. I really would like to see this. You have to explain to them. And if you get to a point where you go, oh my God, I'm scared of this, I'm scared of this, then they won't come. They will not come and disrupt your vibration. They're not here to scare you or propel you in a direction that throws you off balance. They are here to keep you moving down the path and raising your vibration. So when spirit is speaking to you, you are like floating in a stream, floating with spirit. And when you know that you're there, you can feel the energy, you can feel the vibration. It's like electricity. And then when you fall out, you know when you fall, you know when you drop out of that zone that you're in. And mediums get in this zone. They get in a vibrational zone when spirit takes over and works through them. We are a channel for spirit. Channel. We are not the producer of the channel. We are just a channel. And spirit works through us. So we have to give them the permission to work through us, to download into our vibration, to tell us if there's something we need to look at, something we need to see, something we need to put in motion. We have to explain to them, what would you like me to see? If you're not getting your mediumship and spirit's not really speaking to you, just ask your guides. Just mentally or just out loud, or you can mentally ask them, say, okay, is there something I need to do to get you to speak to me? There's something I need to do. And some people say, oh my God, I'll just wait and see in my meditation. No, 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 no. You wait and look around you. What's happening in your day? What's happening around you? What is Spirit showing you? What is Spirit conversing in your vibration? That's what you're looking at. That's what you're propelling in motion. You're not just looking at what's happening in a meditation. During your waking, you could wake up in the morning, you say that, and during the day, what is repetitious and what is guides shown you? What have they propelled in front of you? That's what you're looking for. That's what you're propelling in motion. That's what you're trying to do. Listen to yourself. Always listen to yourself. You're your best barometer in any kind of mediumship class or mediumship reading or mediumship connection. Allow yourself to sense the energy, feel the vibration, and feel if it's good for you. Does it fit your vibration? Does it fit you? That's what you have to ask yourself. Don't just follow a course. I had somebody not too long ago in a reading, and they sat through a whole reading for, I think, 45 minutes to an hour. And they come out of the reading, come up to my house, and I'm like, oh, Lou, it was awful. It was just terrible. I said, well, why did you sit there for 45 minutes? Why did you put yourself through that? It's the vibration with this is you are your barometer, your vibration with this. So allow yourself to connect. And you are just as much of the connection when somebody's doing a reading for you is to tell them, say, you know, I'm not really quite catching that or that vibration. Allowing the medium or the person giving the reading to discern the spirit, to discern them. It is not the person that's getting the reading that has to discern the spirit speaking. It is the medium or the channel that has to discern the spirit. We have to discern them, just figure out why they're saying that or what's going on. But it's that speaking, that voice, that vibration within us, that feeling that we get from spirit. And when we get to a point in our lives or a vibration within our lives, we have to allow ourselves to be good to ourselves. Don't beat ourselves up if we don't get something exactly right. We don't propel it exactly right. That's what classes are for. That's what connecting to classes or connecting to a vibration, that's what classes are for. They aren't there the classes are not there to just you to get free readings or readings from different individuals. They are there to teach you to step off the edge, step into the next doorway, step down the hallway, step out from yourself, step out of your comfort zone and try something new. That's what classes are for. They are to get you to step out, to move to a different vibration, connect to a higher sense of consciousness. That's why they're there. That's why I tell people, get into a circle, get into a place where there are different people trying to communicate with spirit. The energy within that space will build, which will also help you build your energy while you're in that space. So it works really well if you can get hold of some kind of class or some kind of connection to spirit. But speaking comes in different vibrations. So when spirit is speaking to you, how do they speak? What do they do? How do they communicate with you? You should keep some kind of mediumship journal. If you're working on mediumship or connecting to spirit, what are they trying to show you when you meditate? When you're in your waking state and you're sitting quietly, what do they try to show you? Do you hear them? Do you see something? Do you have it in motion? Keep track of that so you can actually see your progression with the spirit world. If you're stagnant in one spot, then you need to speak to your guides and say, you know, I'm not moving. I'm not getting this right now, so you need to help me. You need to empower me, because they might think they're doing it. They're doing perfect for you. But they don't know that until you actually explain to them, yep, I am not getting that. You need to explain to them and tell them, I'm not really getting that. And allow your guides to reinvent, reset, re-envision, and give it back to you. So you need to not put them on notice, but you have to explain to them. I have guides that speak all the time. I have to ask them every so often. I say, why did you say that? What do I have to do with that? What do you want me to do with that? And I have to kind of weigh the possibilities of what they're trying to show me. Is it something to move me forward? Do I need to stay in the room that I'm in for a little while to learn what's there? Or have I learned enough in that room so I can move back in the hallway and move down the hallway? But remember, it's like those carnival rides. You look in a mirror and those lights go off, way off in the distance. The question with this is like these doorways that are constantly off in the distance. The further you walk down the hallway, there's more doors there are. There's more connections. So we might start at the beginning of the hallway, but we can walk all the way to the end of it if that's something that we really absolutely want to do. And that's true. And most people are not going to do what I do. They're not going to read people. Most people just want mediumship so they can control their own vibration, control their own destiny in their life. Speak to their guides, allow their guides to help them and guide them on the path. That's really what they're looking for. They're looking for that pure connection, the guides. And a lot of people will use tools. They'll use their tarot cards to give themselves a reading. They'll use pendulums to give themselves yes-no questions. They'll use different modalities to give them answers through spirit. But the question is when spirit actually speaks to you, talks to you, that gives you the information and you know that they've spoken to you. They've put something in motion, whether through your meditation, whether through your waking state or your dream state. But your guides are always trying to work with you, always trying to propel you down the path. And the thing with mediumship is never tell them or never try to explain to your guides that this isn't quite working. I can't do this. I'm never going to get that. I'll never be able to meditate. Those are just words to spirit to stop them from adjusting you forward. That's what it does. And then you'll never get that. You'll never get there because you've already completely told yourself, I don't get that. I don't get anything when I meditate. And I have clients that have been in my class for a while. They don't get anything when they meditate. And every time I come to class, they say, I still don't get anything when I meditate. I said, are you telling your guides you want? Oh, no, I don't get anything. So you're probably not going to get anything. You're probably not going to propel any further because you're telling your guides you're not getting anything. You have to explain to them, talk to them, have a running conversation with your higher self and your guides. And allow them to know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Explain to them what works. If it doesn't work, tell them. Be very specific with them. Say, no, that doesn't work for me. I don't like it. And your guides will stop doing it. They'll stop doing it, but they'll bring something else to fill its space. I've always noticed through my readings and through my vibrations throughout my life, my guides have always brought me new stuff, things. When I go into Lucerne and I go into trance and Lucerne overshadows me, I learn things. Things are propelled or downloaded into my vibration, which I think is really kind of cool. But I get downloaded into my vibration things that I didn't know before. I come back from doing the trance demonstration. I know some stuff. I know some things that Spirit has taught me while I've been on the other, what I've been letting Lucerne channel through me. So I feel that works really well with that direction. The same thing with mediumship. It always surprises me what Spirit does if I allow them. If I allow them to speak to me, it always surprises me. Things that they say, things that they propel in motion. And I have no idea, at a lot of the points in my life when I do readings, I have no idea that I said that. I'll have people call me back and say, you said this, you told me this, you told me that. I said, really? Yeah. Okay. But I don't recall it. I don't understand why I would have said that. But Spirit wanted them to hear it. Spirit wanted them to hear that vibration. So it changed the person's life. But I wasn't conscious of saying that. I didn't remember saying it at all. But that was Spirit working through me, allowing me to allow Spirit to work through me. And that's what mediumship. Mediumship has, you have to allow your guides to not take control. I'm not saying take control and, oh my God, they're steering the car and you have no control. Through mediumship, you have to allow them to work through you. Through you. And you have to give up a little bit of control. If you're trying to remember everything they're trying to tell you during a reading, probably not going to be doing a very good reading. Because You're not supposed to remember what you're saying. You're not supposed to. The reading is not for you. It's not for your vibration. It's not for you to understand the reading. It is for them to produce the reading through you so that the person receiving the reading understands it, not you. If you try to remember everything that Spirit's trying to give you, if you're trying to give somebody a reading, you're not going to get all the information to that person that a person needs. Your information comes to you personally when you're doing this work, when you're in meditation, when you're in quiet within your own self, your own vibration, or in your quiet moments. That is when Spirit speaks to you. That's when Spirit has a connection to you. So allow yourself to find that balance, that connection to Spirit within your vibration, but move through the rooms. Don't stay in one spot too long. Keep moving. Keep bringing things into your vibration. Ask your guides, there's something I need to see, something I need to put in my mediumship. Could you please show me? Then watch who and what appear in your life, bringing you different vibrations or different modalities in your vibration. You have to look at that, because Spirit will bring people, events in your auric field to get your attention. Whether you're doing mediumship, whether you're doing healing, whether you're doing counseling, whatever you feel like you need to be doing, your guides will bring people, events, and situations in your life when you need them. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. The teacher will appear when the student is ready. If you're stuck in a room, you're not ready, and you're not moving down, so the teacher's not going to appear until you're ready for them to appear with something else for you to look at. So allow yourself to understand that when you're doing this mediumship. Mediumship has got very commercialized now. It's not a spiritual thing anymore. To me, mediumship's very, I don't want to say awesomely meditative and religious, and I just feel like it's a blessing to have the gift, a blessing to understand that through things that I connect to or do, changes people's lives. It does things. And it's that reverence for mediumship that I have. Possibly maybe I'm from the old school. I have that reverence to that connection to Spirit. And I have that understanding that they are there to help me. They are there to encourage me as far down the path as I want to go. We have to allow ourselves to believe that. When we have to spray ourselves down with holy water and say some kind of protective spells and put all kinds of sea salt in the room, run around the whole space and smudge it till there's enough smoke that it calls the fire department to come to your house, then you're telling your guides you don't trust them to protect you. You don't trust your higher self to protect you. You don't trust yourself. You're telling yourself that when you do all that stuff. So you have to say, if you're afraid of mediumship, then you will be afraid, and you could attract something in your life that you might not want to speak to. But if you're not afraid of it, when you're not afraid of the vibration of mediumship, you have to remember, Spirit is speaking. Does Spirit speak to me? It is your higher self. It is your higher vibration that mostly the connection through is for you. The talk is from your higher self. Now there are these 10 to 15 guides that are positioned in your vibration to help you. That doesn't even count the family members, the friends, the people that have gone to Spirit that are there to guide or protect you as needed in their life and their vibration from the spirit world. So at any given moment in your life, you've probably got 50 to 100 people that are sitting waiting for you to call on them, to ask them, do you know how to do this? Do you have any idea how to do this? They're waiting for you to call them. That's why I explain to people, tell them, Explain to them. Help me. Let me understand this. Why is this happening? What do I need to do? Because that is their job. Their job is to propel you far enough down the space in the room to get you to where you need to be. Not to be stuck. I've had mediums, over the years that I've been doing mediumship work, they were stuck in a room. They didn't move forward or backwards, they just were there. Their readings never changed, they never reset, never re-envisioned, never get to learn anything different. They just sat there. They never went and attended any more classes, they didn't do anything else, they just were there. Even all the years that I still do this mediumship, I still attend classes. I still go to workshops. I still attend classes. Because there's something that I could learn. I could have something taught to me that somebody on their journey found that I didn't find, but they found it. And they're going to share their knowledge with me. They're going to share their connection to me. They're going to share that vibration with me. So what I do is I try to find the balance of what works for me. If someone tells me that I am the way, I am the truth, you have to listen to me before you get there. I don't quite believe that. I believe that we all have a gift. Whatever gift that is, we have a gift. All of us were born with a gift. We just have to nurture it to propel other gifts to appear in our vibration. We have to nurture the gift that we're given. And through the years, I've had people say, I don't know what my gift is. Though I have no idea what my gift is, I have no idea. Well, I tell people to get quiet. Quiet your mind, clear it. Listen to your guides, and I tell you, people will just breathe, they'll meditate, and they'll just breathe. When you close your eyes, look slightly up into your third eye, right up into your third eye, Look slightly up and start to breathe. Breathe in for 7, hold it for 7, and breathe out. Get this rhythmic breathing going on. But slightly look up into your third eye. That'll activate your pineal gland. It'll activate things going into the spirit world. Then start asking, through your meditation, your connection, what do I need to see? What do I need to envision? And allow them to work with you. That's all we have to do is ask them. Now, that might not happen. Now, if you're very impatient, if patience was not your virtue in this lifetime, you might have a little bit of a hard time trying to figure out how to do this. Because if you're saying, I want it today, I want it right now, I want it right this minute, might not happen. It might take you 4 or 5 months to get to a space where your energy field and your connection to the spirit world are exactly right and moving in the right direction. We have that thing now these days of people with phenomenon. They want phenomenon, but they want phenomenon right now, right this minute, right this moment. And through all the circles that I've attended in my life, especially physical mediumship circles and different things, nothing really happens that quickly with a new group of people. It doesn't. It takes a group of people to be sitting in conscious effort, to continually to sit in that conscious effort to produce the physical mediumship within that space. And as the group continually sits there in that space, the energy within that space will start to build, and then the physical phenomenon will start to appear. But we always have to allow ourselves to believe in that belief system in our vibration. I don't really associate with people if they tell me, oh my God, you'll never get that, oh I don't know, and they talk down to the connections. I try to give them a wide berth. or if they do the mediumship or do the connection to mediumship, and they're very, I don't want to say mean, very disrespectful to spirit, I won't associate with that teaching. There's this respect for them. They could have gone off in the spirit world. They didn't have to come back here and help you. They could have gone off and left you, but they didn't. So the respect that I have for them is they've made that conscious effort to come back and help me. They've made that conscious effort that when I call on my guides, they are there. So I have that respect, that respect for what I do. And most of my mediumship, sure I do readings, sure I do things for people. But most of my mediumship is done in my private time, in my connection to spirit, learning and understanding how spirit wants to work with me. Because I'm a true, absolute believer. This is not my first rodeo. This is not. And I've been back and forth with spirit many, 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 many times. This is not my first journey. It is not my first place. But I know that connecting to the spirit world, connecting to spirit, allows me to connect to these other vibrations, so these other lives that I've lived, these other incarnations, these other places where I learned. And I can take a reset of the books or the knowledge that I've learned in past lifetimes and incarnations and allow myself to restore those in this lifetime and know what I have to learn in this lifetime to get me to the other side, that I would have done my journey. My father used to say, when he got to the spirit world, people are going to say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." I believe that has a lot to do with mediumship. It's when we allow ourselves to understand who we are, how we came here, what we learned in our past lives, our incarnations, allowing ourselves to work and sort through that, and to listen to spirit. To allow ourselves to get back to the spirit world, to have, whether you're a guide, God, who, to stand there in front of you and say, "Good job, Lou. Good job." That's where I'm heading. Not to stop in a doorway, but to move. When I teach the workshops through rope readings, stick readings, fire readings, there's paper readings, there's wax readings, there's paint readings, there's all kinds of different types of mediumship, all kinds of different types of getting yourself out of the way. And that's why you learn as much as you can that you're attracted to. Then allow yourself to put it all together, sort it in your little file. Don't let somebody else sort the file for you, but sort it in your file, the way it works for you. Place everything in order that works for you, not because somebody else thinks it should work a different way. You might take everything that I teach you or somebody else teach you, and you put it all together, and it looks completely different than what somebody thought it should look. It's not different to you, it works for you. And that's what you have to listen to when is Spirit still speaking to me. Spirit has been speaking to me since I've been 3, 4 years old. Ever since I can personally remember in my life, I've had voices. And I've heard Spirit, and I've seen Spirit. So it has been this journey throughout my life to try to understand. And it did take me time to understand what they were saying. I knew they were there. I knew they were connecting. I knew they were in the vibration. But what they were trying to tell me, that took time. Sure, Spirit can tell you all kinds of stuff. They can show you a brown bird and a meditation, and you could see a rainbow, and you could see all this stuff. But when you come out of the meditation, you go, what am I supposed to do with that? What is that? It's only when you learn the psychic vocabulary, learn how they're doing it. It's like having the flags on board ship, and they used to have the flags, and they used to tell the ships what they needed to do by the positions of the flags. That's like your guides are on the other ship, and you're sitting over here, and you're trying to figure out what the flags are trying to tell you. You're trying to read them. You're trying to figure out the positions of the flags and how they're supposed to communicate with you. And all of us communicate differently, so don't think that there's one way, one road, one situation, and that's how we're going to do it. It's different. It connects differently in people's lives. So follow your course, follow the vibration. All of us are in the center of the path. All of us are not off the path. We only venture off the path when we allow others to take us off the path. Or we consciously say, I'm going to go off path to take care of something. Then we eventually get back to the path, but only where we left the path. We don't venture down the road, down the path, and re-enter it down the path. We re-enter it where we left the path. Most people in the vibration have guilty situations within their life of connecting or working with Spirit. Remember, Spirit doesn't really, they don't hold grudges on the other side. They don't hold this vibration on the other side that they're out to get you because you did something. Everything happens for a reason in our lives. It is our journey, our vibration. The journey is chosen through our vibration, the designation that we achieve or want to look at in our lives. But that journey of how we arrive, that is the only free will and choice we have in this lifetime. It's not the journey, it is how we arrive. And sometimes we have to ride through helping all these other individuals before we arrive, thinking that it's not a really good vibration, but it was never a life lesson, never a life encouragement for us. It was always for this other person or this other individuals, to helping the group energy, not to help us, but for us to be the catalyst to get the group to where they needed to be. So look back at your life. If you can pick out all these little things that probably didn't work out well, let's let them go. Because if there was supposed to be a meaning, because sometimes things happen in our lives to get our attention, to point us in a direction. Sometimes we miss that, and that's why it's speaking to Spirit, understanding what Spirit's trying to tell you. I'm not going to say that you're going to catch every aspect and know exactly how Spirit's speaking to you, but you'll hit most of them. You'll get most of them, especially you have to do something in your life. And that's really what this connection is. Have Spirit speaking to you. If you believe they've stopped speaking to you, then take your time. Take your energy, take your vibration, and take a moment. Ask them, what do I have to do to hear you? What do I have to do to understand what you're trying to tell me? You don't have to ask 20, 100, 50, 200 questions. What do I have to do for you to speak to me? And then allow them to show you. And a lot of times it's just out in front of you. I think it's cute. My wife's wanting us to move somewhere and set up somewhere else and be somewhere else, and I'm going, And Spirit's been showing me Tallahassee. So I go, Tallahassee, okay. But then I got a reading from a lady, she didn't even know me, the other night. And she says, I see Tallahassee with you. That was another sign for my guides. Now, I was questioning it, saying, okay, now I'm going to be watchful of Tallahassee, see if that appears in my life more, and if Spirit wants that for us. But they have to show me. See, I don't just change my life just because I see a light. They have to show me a few times. I mean, maybe I'm a little stubborn, but they have to talk to me a few times. I want to make sure I'm getting the symbols and the talking and the vibration down. I'm not going to run off on one situation and go, yep, that's it, let's go. because I want to make sure that I'm getting what they're trying to speak to me about. And my grandmother was body, mind, spirit, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. If it happens 3 or more times in your life, it means your guides are trying to get your attention. If I saw Tallahassee, I saw Tallahassee again, I'll see Tallahassee again. I'm going to be very watchful of Tallahassee. Or whatever they show me, especially if it's 3 or more times. And if it happens 3 or more times, then I explain to them. I talk out loud, or I mentally tell them, I saw that. Is that something I need to pay attention to? Then I allow them to speak to me. But pick the way that you feel most comfortable speaking to them. Maybe you keep a journal, a dream journal, a journal. And every day, you write in that journal. You get quiet. And you wait for information. You write down in that journal every day about your journey for the day. Maybe that's it. But you have to allow yourself to find that journey. Is Spirit speaking to you? They probably are right now. They probably are speaking to you in some form, some language that they're trying to use. And your language might be, you might never spoke German your whole life, and your guide's German. And he's just speaking German just as fast as he can speak. You have no understanding of what he's trying to tell you. So you have to learn a different language. You have to learn a language. You have to learn a vibration. And that's what mediumship is. It's learning a different language, learning a different vibration. That's what it is. It's not going to just nerd on. Sometimes they'll come right in front of you and talk to you. You'll get it. It'll be there. Oh my God, it's perfect. Boom. But a lot of the times, it's never that way. It is this connection of them speaking and talking and conversing. But you have to try to learn this whole different type of language. And that's when it comes down to being the psychic alphabet. What does a willow tree mean to you? What does a basketball mean to you? What does a car, red car, mean to you? What does the moon mean to you? What does things mean to you? That's what you're teaching yourself. You're teaching yourself this vibration. Like working with sign language. There's different positions of the hands to work with sign. You're just learning how to read the sign language from your spirit guides and putting symbols with the positions and the vibrations that they're trying to show you. So even though you might feel like you're supposed to, I'm not hearing spirit, they're not speaking to me, maybe they're speaking to you in a way that you can't quite understand because you don't quite know the language yet. Ask them. I explain to people, ask your guides, tell them, okay, is there something I'm missing? Guide showed me last time I was with Lucerne, and I was on the other side. The guide said, we listened to you. I said, really? And that was Tobias. And he looked at me, he said, we listened to you. You should ask us. I said, well, how should I ask you? How should we ask you? And he said, just tell us, is there something I missed? Something I should have seen, something that I should have personally put in motion. Could you please show it to me? He said that covers all the bases, allows us to go and find everything we need to show you and bring in front of you. So it covers everything. Is there something I missed, something I should have seen, something I should have put in motion? Could you please show me? And then you watch. He said the only reason we can't get in contact with certain people is sometimes people don't watch. They don't look. They don't converse with that vibration. They wait for the lightning bolt from the spirit world. And most of the time it's not a lightning bolt. It's a little bit of a shock. Not a lightning bolt. So we have to look for the other vibrations, because if we're just looking for the thunder in the skies to open up, it's probably not going to happen. But it will happen if we look for the signs. If your mother, my wife's mother loved lilies. She loved lilies. That's where we are. Lilies. She loved these. They were called morning lilies, and she loved those. So we moved back to this house in Casadega. When we walked and moved back to this house, right in the front yard, in the middle of winter down here. That flower should not have been there. Right growing out of the cement in the driveway was a lily. Now, sign from her mother that we were back to where we needed to be? We thought so. My father liked owls. I see owls quite a bit. Every so often I'll see them, they'll be looking at me, watching me. And I know it's my father taking care of me, looking after me. So the question is, I know signs and different vibrations, so we have to allow ourselves to be open, not to beat it to death, but be open to where it needs to be. Mediumship is reading the full book. A lot of the times people read the introduction and they skip all the way to the end of the book. They don't read the middle of the book. They only read what's in the very front and the very end, and then they don't understand why it's not working because they didn't do the center of it. They didn't follow the vibration or follow the center of it. So when you're working with mediumship, it is going through all of it, going through every chapter, every verse, and moving through the book as fast. Maybe you can get to the book quicker than somebody else, but it is how you perceive the book. The journey of mediumship. I have guides that speak to me constantly. They're always talking to me. As I'm getting older, they talk more. So it's like just explaining to me and talking to me. So I have to quiet them. I have to learn how to quiet them. And I explain to individuals that do this work, find a code word that will shut it off for a little bit. Don't tell them, oh, I just don't want it anymore. I just don't care. I don't want this anymore. They'll take it away. It is awful hard to reopen the door and bring it forth again. Get a code word to shut it off when you want to shut it down. Get a code word in your vibration to turn it on. So that when you're somewhere and you really don't want to be seeing spirit running all over the place, hearing all these voices and different things going on with you, you say your code word, you shut it off. Then you do a code word to turn it on. When you want to have it on, when you want to be speaking to spirit, when you want them to be working with you, you can't be open 24/7. It doesn't work that way. You'll burn yourself out. You'll stay in this business for a while. You'll stay working with spirit for a while. Then you'll just burn yourself out and you'll just be done with them. And you will not progress any further. You'll just be done. You'll be done. You'll pass out in one of the rooms and they'll have to send out a search party to try to find you. No. You can't be open 24/7 because it'll just burn you out. You have to shut it down every once in a while. Take a breath. Take a breather, take a breath for a second, and then you can move forward. But no trying to run, because there's so much to learn in all these different rooms that Spirit wants to take you to. Spirit never ceases to amaze me what they personally want to show me. Never ceases to amaze me what they want to converse within my vibration. So, the one thing about today with classes is, when you get time, sit quietly. Ask your guides if there's something you need to do, something you need to put in motion, something that you need to see. Please show you. Please allow you to see it. Then watch for signs appearing in your vibration. What appears in your vibration to get your attention? You need to make an appointment with Spirit. Don't allow them to talk to you every 15, 20 seconds. Try to make an appointment with them. Try to make an appointment with them so they can be quiet and they can talk to you. Make an appointment with them so that they know that you're open and you're ready and you would like to speak to them. Make an appointment with them. And keep the appointment. For 8 weeks. That's what seances were back in the day. There was people would meet, sit in the same chair, they would meet at the same time, last for the hour or so, then they would go home. Next time they'd come, they'd sit in the same chair, they'd sit for their time, then they would go home. There was this continuity of being there at that specific time, that specific moment for Spirit. That's the same thing with meditation, the same thing when you're communicating with spirit. It's that time you set aside just to speak to them. Speak to them. Make sure you concentrate on your breathing. Get your breathing under control so that you can open your pineal, your hypothalamus. Open these glands, these vibrations within your auric field, so you can be that clear channel, that vibration for spirit to download into your auric field. Don't be afraid of spirit. Don't be afraid that spirit's going to do something. If you're afraid that spirit is jumping in here and there's some scary stuff over there, then you might have to step back, take a breath, work on this vibration a little bit before you try to go back and ask them. Because if you believe that, then you are attracting. You're attracting the vibration right away, because now you already are afraid that you're going to attract something. You've already put that out ahead of you before you even start. You start spraying yourself down in holy water just before you enter into the spirit world. You've already put that notice out into the spirit world. I am so afraid, I am so terrified, I am so afraid that I'm going to catch something. No, don't do that. If you're afraid of it, you can say an opening prayer, you can say a protective prayer, but that should be it. Get a protective prayer that you feel comfortable with. I only allow my highest and best. That's what I say. I only allow my highest and best. My highest and best. And that's all I say. So pick a prayer. Pick a vibration that you want in your life. Say that. I have friends of mine that say the Lord's Prayer before they start their meditation work. They do that. Do whatever prayer that works for you. Do that. But don't be afraid of spirits. You have enough protectors, guides, and people in your vibration to help you and protect you. Listen to yourself. You're going to be your best barometer when Spirit's working with you. If it's not working for you, walk away, let it be. It's not yours. It might work for somebody else and you want it to work for you, but it doesn't quite fit you. It doesn't quite work for you. Let it be. If you spend too much time there, you'll be lost in the room. If it's supposed to work for you, guide, Spirit will move heaven and earth for you. Don't get stuck there. Try things out, do things. If it works for you, it'll fall into place for you, it'll work for you. If it doesn't work for you, let it be. Move on to something else. Move on to something else. I have a thing when I do healing. I do Reiki, I do crystal, I do the Buddha Maitreya, I do all kinds of different types of healing. But I don't consider myself one of those healers. I am a mixture of all of them. Not just one, but all. I've taken all the points from every single healing modality that I've been taking care of, that I've had in my life, and I make myself my own healer. Same thing on mediumship. I'm not the typical medium. I am a mixture of everything I've ever learned. And I've made myself who I am. And that's what you should do when you do this mediumship, when you're saying your spirit's still communicating with me. They should be. And if they aren't communicating strong enough, talk to them. Tell them that you would like them to speak to you clearer. Because remember, they're listening to you 24/7. Spirit does not sleep. They do not sleep. So if you're listening to Spirit, they do not sleep. So allow yourself to connect to them. Talk to them. Don't be afraid to speak to them. So talk to them, explain to them what you're looking for, and they will work for you. I hope that helped you today. Remember, I think next week we're going to be doing Lucerne. I think Lucerne is on my website, lewisgates.com. I think we're doing Lucerne next week. I'm going to let Lucerne overshadow me, and he's going to talk. So I hope this helped you in a little bit in your mediumship and connection to who you are. And tune in every Thursday. We can do this. I want to teach you as much stuff as I know. So maybe something I teach you, something I put in motion, will encourage you and bless you on your mediumship journey and get you to where you need to be. And I want to thank you. Okay.